Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 229 of Bill Man the Sport Guys podcast. I'm your host, Bill Man the Sports Guy. For the latest weekly news of the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, college sports, and WNBA, this is the podcast to be. Before we get to the World Series and the NFL weekly recaps heading into week 10, I would like to give a shout out to College of the Page men and women's soccer coach Mike Bona and Matt Hanna, as this past week they coached their 50th game together, but it was the 50th in the women's program in the history of the campus. They're both legends. They are both two of the most awesome coaches that I've ever met, and they're two of the greatest soccer coaches that I've ever seen in college soccer history. So huge shout out, huge congratulations to Matt Hanna and Mike Bona, two legends, definitely COD Hall of Fame in my opinion. If you ever want to let me know your thoughts and opinions, you can always let me know on Twitter. I know, it's called X, but we're gonna call it Twitter because that's how it'll always be. At Billman Sports, Instagram at Billman Sports Guy, and here on YouTube at Billman Sports Guy. Okay, let's also go over the World Series because the Los Angeles Dodgers have became back-to-back World Series champions as they were World Series champions last year. Overall, I was very entertained. And game seven, man, oh man, was I entertained. And the Blue Jays, they were this close to winning it all, but the Dodgers stood strong and won it all. Yoshida Yamamoto, what a beast he was. Max Scherzer on the Blue Jays, he went lights out. You know, one thing I will say about the Blue Jays is, hey, they'll be back. They'll definitely be back. They got the pieces to become World Series contenders. And the Dodgers, were they the better team? No, but they still found a way and won the World Series. Miguel Rojas, that game-tying home run, and then the Will Smith home run and extra innings, that is insane. I think Game 7 has to be one of the greatest Game 7s that I've seen since 20, let's say 2016. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the World Series. All right, we're going to go over NFL weekly recaps heading into week 10, but this is after week 9. All right. Number 32 is the New York Jets. Now, as I am going through the graphics, I am going to let you know that NFL trades are going to be in one of the next upcoming episodes, but the Jets, back to the recap for the Jets, bye week, but they're still not one of the best teams in the NFL. Number 31, Tennessee Titans. The way the roster is constructed and the results against the Los Angeles Chargers just showed it. Number 31, number 30 is the New Orleans Saints. There is not a lot to say about the Saints this year. You know, Tyler Tyler Sloan had a rough game against the Los Angeles Rams, but they're just not expected to be a good team this year. Number 29 is the Cleveland Browns. While they did also had a bye week, did they? I take that back. They actually, no, actually, I was right. I'm sorry. They did have a bye week. The Cleveland Browns, not a lot to say. I still think they got something going on the defensive side of the football, but offensively, I really question what is going on. Number 28 is the Las Vegas Raiders. As much as I want to say that they're going to be wild card contenders, but they're clearly not showing it. Nothing is going right for the Las Vegas Raiders, and that's basically about it. Number 27 is the Miami Dolphins. They just let go their GM Chris Greer this week, and after their blowout against the Baltimore Ravens, how on earth does Mike McDaniel still have a job? The Dolphins, it's really a mess. Number 26 is the New York Giants. Hey, look, Jackson Dart, he's trying his hardest, but the Giants, they're just filled with injury prones, and that's really it. Number 25 is the Washington Commanders. I wanted to see the Washington Commanders make the playoffs, but Sad to say that's not going to happen. Even Jane Daniels' gruesome, horrible elbow injury. It's definitely a lost year now for the Washington Commanders. I don't know what Dan Quinn was thinking, even in their blowout loss to Seattle Seahawks. Number 24 is the Arizona Cardinals. Just not sold on them. I know they beat the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm still not sold. Number 23 is the Carolina Panthers. While they're still, hey, Bryce Young's continuing to get better. Do I think they're playoff contenders? No, but I think they could be heading towards the right direction. Number 22 is the Cincinnati Bengals. Wow. Joe Flacco threw a masterpiece by throwing over 400 plus yards and still lost to the Chicago Bears. What a surprise. Not really. Number 21, Jacksonville Jaguars. Another young team that I think we should all keep an eye on. They've been making some noise lately, and while they barely got away with the 30-29 win over the Las Vegas Raiders, I think they're up to something. Number 20, San Francisco 49ers. Just another team that I'm not sold on. I think they're good when healthy, but they've been so injury prone the last two seasons. That's really all. Number 19 is the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, tough division. JJ McCarthy's supposed to come back, but not a lot to say. Number 18, the Atlanta Falcons. Only the Atlanta Falcons to lose to the New England Patriots in true upset fashion. Number 17 is the Chicago Bears. Hey, despite choking a 41-27 lead, the Bears pulled out and won. Caleb Williams threw a game-winning touchdown to Colson Loveland. Hope I said it right. But hey, kudos to the Bears. Number 16 is the Dallas Cowboys. Nope. I take that back. 16 is the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers, young team, just really it. Number 16 or number 15 is the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud, solid game before he got hurt, but what are the Texans going to look like for the rest of the season? Number 14 is the Dallas Cowboys, the most overrated team in the NFL. Dak Prescott was okay. CeeDee Lamb was fine. George Pickens was fine. But could somebody please remind Jerry Jones that the Dallas Cowboys are just not a Super Bowl contender? Because his press conference, it's almost becoming a chore to literally listen to whatever he has to say. Number 13 is the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson's back, that's wonderful to see. And it shows what kind of a team the Ravens are when Lamar Jackson's healthy. That's really it. Number 12, Denver Broncos. Barely got away with the Houston Texans, but I still think they are a playoff team at the end of the day. Number 11, Pittsburgh Steelers. They just upset the Indianapolis Colts by 7. And I think the Steelers, until further notice, they're 500 or above. Number 10, New England Patriots. Definitely my surprise team in the 2025 season. Drake May continuing to ball out. The Patriots are just looking really good as of late. Number 9, Kansas City Chiefs. Honestly, Kelsey, Worthy, Rice, they're all good. But what's the depth going to look like? I'm really concerned about the depth the Chiefs have. And that's really it. Number 8 is the Seattle Seahawks. Absolutely blew out the Washington Commanders. Not a surprise team for the 2025 season. I'll admit that. Number 7 is the Los Angeles Rams. I like them, but are the Rams Super Bowl contenders? Because at times they look like they do, but then there's times that they don't. I don't seem to understand on what direction or what's going to happen for the rest of the season. Number 6 is the Detroit Lions. Oh, God, they got upset by the Minnesota Vikings. Lost to them by 3. Not a good look for Dan Campbell, but hey, I think they'll dominate their next game. Number 5 is the Green Bay Packers. I hope Tucker Kraft gets better, but he's out for the rest of the year. And honestly, Carolina's running game was what really did Green Bay's defense. They gave him a ton of trouble. Also, Jordan Love threw costly interceptions, so bit of a yikes, but honestly, their next match against the Philadelphia Eagles, it's not going to look easy. Speaking of the Philadelphia Eagles, actually, after that, number 4, the Indianapolis Colts. almost pull out a win against Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, but the Steelers came away with the win in the last 9 minutes in the fourth quarter. Number three, speaking of the Philadelphia Eagles, they landed number three in my power rankings. The Eagles had a bye week, and I still wouldn't be shocked if they dominated against Green Bay, if I'm being brutally honest. Number two is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another team that had a bye week, but I wouldn't be shocked if they came back and balled their lights out again. Number one, the best team in the NFL right now, in my opinion, is the Buffalo Bills. They completely destroyed the Kansas City Chiefs. They exposed Patrick Mahomes again. And hot take, I think the Buffalo Bills, if they verse the Chiefs, I think the Bills are going to get their revenge. So that's all for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 229 of Bill Man the Sport Guys podcast. I'm your host, Bill Man the Sports Guy. For the latest weekly news of the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, college sports, and WNBA, this is the podcast to be. Stay tuned for episode number 230. Peace.